and members of the committee. I appreciate your time. My name is Dr. Peter Snyder. I am a, I think it was working. Yeah.
Is it working?
I am a professor of neurology at the Alfred Medical School of Brown University. I am also the vice president for research for the Lifespan Hospital System, the 5 hospitals that serve the medical school as the major teaching affiliates. I'm not speaking tonight on behalf of Lifespan. I'm speaking as a private citizen. I am dual trained as a clinical neuropsychologist and cognitive neuroscientist. I've been practicing my profession and training the next generation of our brain scientists that will take over when I retire for the past 20 years. I live in East Greenwich with my wife and 2 children. My brother is a prominent pediatrician who has worked very hard in this state for more than a decade. He lives in Warwick with his husband, whom he married in Canada just a few years ago, along with Representative Ferry and his husband, Tony. They married in Canada, so their marriage would be recognized by their friends, their family, and by many other countries and jurisdictions in this world. My children have 2 loving uncles who they adore. I'm proud to know that my children make absolutely no distinction between same-sex or opposite-sex marriages. To them, a marriage is a promise made between 2 adults to love and take care of one another for the rest of their lives, and to build an open, happy, and nurturing household together, whether or not there are children involved, just like heterosexual couples. In my professional career, I've had the good fortune to train under some of the world's best geneticists and neurobiologists who actually have spent much of their careers studying the neurobiology and the genetics of human sexuality. I have published peer-reviewed articles on this topic in some of the top journals in our field. I'm the associate editor of Brain and Cognition, which is a very good journal in the brain sciences that on occasion publishes articles on this topic as well. So I am very intimately familiar with the literature on this topic, both as a clinical psychologist and as a neuroscientist. The best, most credible, replicable, reliable scientific evidence all supports the understanding that human sexuality runs on a continuum. It's a complex phenomenon, like every biological process. Its expression from individual to individual is determined by a mix of genetic factors, hormonal factors, neurodevelopmental factors, and its expression is really beyond the conscious control of the human or other mammal that expresses it. Human sexuality runs on a continuum, as I said, from entirely homosexual to entirely heterosexual, with a largely bimodal distribution, but not entirely. In every bit the same way that every other individual difference in mammals is expressed: height, eye color, hair color, just to name a few. My brother-in-law, and my other dear friends can no more choose to be gay than I can choose to be heterosexual. There is a very good reason why homosexuality has been obliterated from the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual, and there is no credible scientific evidence to support otherwise. There simply isn't. I personally would like to be 2 to 4 inches taller, but I can't choose that either. I just happen to be, as my wife says, on the short side of average when it comes to one way that humans normally differ. To put it simply, human sexuality is such a complex biologic process that you can't reasonably imagine that it would have a binomial distribution without normal variation around the middle. And it would be contrary to every other biologic process that we have. It would be contrary to every other organ system or complex set of behaviors that our brain controls. It simply wouldn't fit with biological rules. What my brother should have is the right to choose in a state of this country that he calls home. He should have the right to choose to marry the person that he loves, to build the exact same life together in every single respect that my wife and I have been allowed to build. He deserves every single benefit that I receive, including the psychological security, the happiness, and the trials and tribulations that come with marriage. When I told my children last night that I was going to be here to testify before you this evening and that I wouldn't be home for dinner tonight, they naturally asked me why, because they would want their daddy to be home. I told them that I needed to talk to our legislators about the critical importance of allowing good people like their two uncles to be able to be married. My 7-year-old son looked up at me and said, "Daddy, that's silly. Of course they should be married." My 7-year-old son is a wise, wise young man. Thank you.